Today we're going to make some cute keychains out of resin. First, you want to take your mica powder and mix it in with your resin. I used white. Just fill it about 1/3 of the way full on each one, and that will be your base. Be careful when you're filling these because it's really easy to overfill them. Next, we're going to use these stickers. You can see the writing is black, but it has a clear base, and that's nice because it's not going to show up in your keychain. You want to make sure your sticker is going to fit in your mold before you take it off, and fill all of your keychains with some sort of writing. You can make your own or you can buy them. I bought these off of Amazon, but you can also buy the clear sheets and print off your own sayings as well, which actually would probably be cheaper. So the reason I'm doing the little words differently is because I'm going to be adding some dried flowers in with those. If your saying is too big, it's really hard to fit in some dried flowers. But if it's small like this, you can add some around it and it makes it really pretty. Some of your stickers won't fit and you just want to test it before you do it. The great thing about these stickers is if you do happen to put it in the wrong place, you are able to peel it off and replace it. Once that's done, you want to pick out some flowers and arrange them how you think they'll look nice. This, I think, is the fun part. Sometimes it'll take a minute to figure out exactly how you want your flowers. Just continue laying them in all the molds. Some of them you may have to cut down. You won't be able to use the whole flower, but that's fine too. They look cute both ways. Sometimes a simple leaf would look nice. And even if it seems like it might be a little imperfect, try it in your mold anyway, and you might actually like how it looks. See, that flower I just placed had a missing petal, but it actually looks nice in the mold. I'm just going to add a little bit of a leaf to spruce it up a bit. I can't get the leaf exactly where I was wanting it. And sometimes your flower will fit perfectly where you need it to. This is a great use for those small to medium flowers. I really wanted to use this leaf, but it just wasn't going to work out. See how I'm just going to cut it down to make it fit? And sometimes you have to cut it down even more. That looks nice. For the ones where we stuck the sticker in the middle, you can put something on top and bottom. There wasn't any way to make this work, so I'm actually just going to peel the sticker back up and replace it. And in the end, you can't even tell that I've done this. These are really good stickers. I really like this flower with that. I thought about using these leaves, but when I was holding it up to the molds, I decided not to. The easiest way to keep these flowers in place so when you pour the resin they don't move around is to put a little bit of the Mod Podge on it. What this does, I put it only on the back and just a little bit. You don't even have to cover the whole flower. And you place it and you let it dry for a little bit. That just keeps that flower in place and it dries clear so you can't even tell that it happened. I've tried a few different methods and this is what works best for me. But if you have other methods, you can put them in the comments. I would love to hear them. I'm always trying new things. But this works quite well for me. So once that's dry, I'm going to actually put some clear resin over all of these, fill it the rest of the way up, and that will dry overnight. See how these flowers aren't even budging a little bit? That Mod Podge really works nicely. I've tried different glues. I'm really not a fan of how the glue gets everywhere. The Mod Podge is less sticky and I just enjoy using it more. Plus I use it for a lot of other projects as well. So I always have a huge thing of it on hand. The important thing about this process here is you want to make sure you get them right to the brim so they're not over or underfilled, and then you pop the bubbles before you let them set overnight. Then when you're demolding them, you're just checking for any air bubbles. I did have a few that ended up with air bubbles, and that is pretty inevitable. If there's an air bubble stuck under one of your flowers, it will rise to the surface. But I love how these turned out. And next we're going to drill a hole in them and turn them into a keychain. Look how pretty that is. Okay, so sometimes you'll get just like a little dot of resin. I just cut them off with my seam rippers from my sewing machine because it's a little pair of scissors and they work perfectly. Sometimes it's not going to work out. If it's like too big of a clump or something, you're going to have to sand it, or if it doesn't get it smooth, you'll have to sand it. I'm not a fan of sanding resin, but I do it occasionally when I have to. So here's this hand drill. I do it right on the top in the middle there. When I first used this hand drill a long time ago, I had the hardest time figuring out how to use it because the drill bit kept on wanting to go back up in it. I finally figured it out. It's really handy. Your hand will get tired if you're going to drill all these at the same time though, and you might get a blister. Heads up, you might want to use some sort of gloves. My fingers are pretty calloused and they still can get sore from doing this. But this drill works really nicely. But you want to drill it before you put your eye screw in. So see how this twists? That's twisting against your hand as you're doing the drilling motion. So it makes it easier on you. Then you take that out. This is the kit I got it off of Amazon. It's really nice because it has everything you need to turning it into a keychain. Okay, so you put your eye screw in. The easiest way I've found to do this, because I do a lot of these, is I hold the eye screw with the pliers and I actually turn the resin piece and not the pliers. That's just way easier. It's a lot faster as well instead of trying to maneuver those pliers around, because your resin piece is usually a lot littler and easier to work with. So get it until it's to the top, and then you'll want to put your jump ring on it and the keychain attachment. You'll need 2 pairs of pliers to make it easier on yourself. Open it up a little bit, put it in the eye screw, and attach your keychain on the very bottom ring and close it up. And you want to make sure it's really even here and closed up so that it's not going to fall off. And look how cute the keychain turned out. And then this is what they all look like when they're finished. All I have left to do is put them on their packaging to sell. If you like this, please like the video and subscribe. Have a great day.